Hello, my name is Samrat and welcome to my presentation, which will be on leadership change and governance for the module MGT6B6. Moving on to the second slide, we will be talking about the Ford Motor Company today and how leadership theories apply to them. The company was started by Henry Ford on June 16, 1903. Their first car was built in their Mack Avenue district plant in Detroit. Today, the company's worth has a market capacity of $32.25 billion. And the company has around 190,000 employees over all of the subsidiary companies. Moving on to the third slide. The Ford Motor Company board structure. Jim Hackett is the CEO of the company. The board is made up of 95 members, which is very large even for a large company. An interesting fact is the Ford family owns only 2% of the overall shares, but through special Class B shares, they still retain 40% of voting rights of the entire company. So what are the leadership issues or challenges that face Ford today? Under Hackett's leadership, Ford has lost $3.6 billion in profit in 2019 alone. They also had to come up with a one-off payment of $2.2 billion in pension payments for all of the employees. This could have easily been avoided with better management in terms of administration and financial management skills. They also had a failed SUV launch, which not only costed them a lot of money, but it led to investor relations going down, and which saw investor confidence going down, which resulted in the stock price of the company reducing. So how will we be moving on to slide number 5? How will we be applying the Peter principle? Every employee rises in the company through the company hierarchy structure through promotion, as they're able to display competence until they reach a level such as CEO where they're no longer competent. This happens as the amount of responsibility and implications of each decision increases exponentially in proportion to their position in the company, which means eventually all employees become incompetent. What this is saying is that a competent employee will keep climbing up the ranks of the company, eventually to the point where each decision has a much greater, carries a much heavier weight and much greater effect, and eventually some of these decisions will be wrong, which would mean that in the eyes of the rest of the company, they are incompetent. So what is the solution for the Ford Motor Company? Although Hackett is a very skilled administrator, the company has suffered large losses under his leadership, and the CEO, he's the sole person responsible and should resign. The company should focus on recruiting an executive that would be better skilled in crisis management, as not only is Ford having to deal with the severe losses from 2019 from the pension payments and the $3.6 billion in losses and the SUV launch, but they also have to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, which has saw slowing growth for the entire automobile industry, and therefore hiring an executive that is specialized in crisis management will be the best option for the Ford Motor Company and its share and stakeholders. The next slide is all my references for which I've used a Harvard-style referencing. Thank you very much for joining me today.